Hey guys and gals, welcome back. We here at the Playpen are big fans of Pokemon, so to celebrate the upcoming release of Pokemon Sun and Moon, we thought we'd do our first Pokemon related video, so sit back and let's jump right in. It's no secret that the Pokemon world has seen its fair share of horrible designs over the years, some ranging from questionable to just downright rubbish. Literally. Now, to be fair, every generation of Pokemon has had its fair share of horrible designs. This isn't going to be one of those Generation 1 can do no wrong type of things. No, not at all. No nostalgia-spared predisposed opinions here. We all love the original 151, but we can all agree that some were better thought out than others. However, I do have to say that with each new generation that gets released, I do notice an increase of questionable design choices. I don't blame the Pokemon company or the artist who designed them. It's clear to me that the general demographic for Pokemon is evolving. As a 24-year-old male, I'm no longer the main target audience for Pokemon anymore. Things I look for in Pokemon aren't what 14-year-olds are going to be looking for. You may or may not agree with me, but I've always held the belief that the designs for Pokemon should always be pulled from nature. Things like flora, fauna, minerals, natural phenomena, and such. That way, even something like Pokemon can have an element of realism and belief to it. When you start pulling ideas from synthetic, man-made objects, like ice cream or a vacuum cleaner, all sense of realism and belief is destroyed. A Pokemon that's based on fire, weather, or plants is far more believable than a Pokemon based on a keyring. Now, remember, aesthetics and design are all obviously subjective, meaning that not everyone will have the same feeling towards one Pokemon or another. Some of you may agree with this list, others may not. So without further ado, here are the Playpen's choice, in no particular order, for the worst Pokemon designs of all time. Number 1. Throw and Sock. Why are these two Pokemon wearing Kung Fu uniforms? Are they born with them on, or do they simply steal them? Are they even Pokemon? They look human almost. And one has to ask, did the females in this breed look like this too? They all look like males. At least Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan looked a little less humanish. Number 2, Klefki. This is absolutely one of the worst. A keychain. A freaking keychain of all things. The Pokedex entry has to be one of the most juvenile things I've ever read regarding a Pokemon. Pokemon X's entry reads, "These key collectors threaten any attackers by fiercely jiggling their keys at them." Seriously. Number 3, Probopass. What really needs to be said here? This is just an ugly Pokemon. Imagine battling a Typhlosion or something cool like that and countering it with something like this. You'd be laughed at. A giant nose with a magnetic particle mustache? Lame. Number 4, Garbodor. Pretty uninspired, this one. It's essentially a garbage bag gone haywire. Number 5, Mr. Mime. This is just one silly and creepy looking Pokemon. No one I ever knew used, talked, or cared about Mr. Mime. Tell me, would you want this creature on your team? Number 6, Magnemite and Magneton. These two just don't make any sense. It's an amalgamation of magnets, screws, and eyeballs. I have to wonder who came up with this one and why. Number 7, Voltorb and Electrode. These two have to be one of the most lazily designed Pokemon ever. They're just spheres with opposite colors. The whole idea behind these two is that they were genetic experiments on Pokeballs gone wrong. Number 8, Gothita, Gothorita, and Gothitelle. Wow, let's make a Pokemon and base it off a freaking subculture. Great names for the Pokemon too, right? In case you didn't know what subculture these three are based on. Maybe in Sun and Moon we will get Pokemon like Emolia, Emonilla, and Emozilla. Number 9, Honedge, Doublade, and Aegislash. Admittedly, these three are probably the coolest on this list, but there is just one problem. They're swords. How in the heck does a sword become a Pokemon? Again, incredibly lazy names as well. Number 10, Litwick, Lament, and Chandelure. Quickly, we need a creepy trio of Pokemon like Ghastly, Haunter, and Gengar. What have you got? Well, how about a spooky candle, a haunted light post, and a paranormal chandelier? Number 11, Comfy. Lazy, lazy, lazy. A Pokemon based on those Hawaiian flower necklaces. Because you know, the next games are based in Hawaii? Even its name is outrageously lazy. Number 12, Clink, Clang, and Clink Clang. Need more Pokemon in the vein of Magnemite and Magneton? Well, don't worry, because these guys have you covered. Believe it or not, they're even actually lazier than both Magnemite and Magneton. Instead of a few pieces comprising each, they're simply made of gears. And you have to love those creative names, too. Number 13, Unknown. Did you ever love alphabet soup? Well, here it is in Pokemon form. Not only are these Pokemon horrendously lazy by design, but they're also absolutely worthless in battle. But hey, at least you can spell your name out. Number 14, Slurpuff. Really? A Pokemon based off a dessert? Nothing else to say. Number 15, Girder. This one just looks gross. pink bulging veins, a creepy clown nose, and a head that looks like it's full of tumors. No thank you. And finally, to top it all off, my most loathed and despised design ever. Some of you already know where this is going, and you'd be right, because it's pretty much universally accepted as the worst designed Pokemon ever. I present to you Vanillite, Vanillish, and Vanilluxe. My god, where do I go with this? These have to be the worst designs ever. The epitome of laziness, the peak of stupidity, and the absolute limit of silliness. These three are it. A Pokemon based on a vanilla ice cream cone. Well, that's it. That's all I have for now. Before we finish, remember, these are just our choices. So if I've listed a Pokemon on this list that you like, don't sweat it. If you guys have any Pokemon you think deserve to be on this list, let us know in the comments section. Catch you on the next one.